Up there, hang on, please, because we'd like you to come back later. Up the line in York, in what he thinks is a small radio studio, but we all know is a padded cell, is our very own Victor Lewis Smith. Have you managed to break into television yet, Victor?
Well, Ned, it's a bit hush-hush, but I'm having conferences with a closed-circuit hospital TV station in Basildon who, they want me to do a chat show called Live from Cystitis Ward F. This week, Neddy, the nice Mr. Great has given me the plum job of being Thora Hird's minder, and because of my experience as editor of the Braille Esperanto edition of People's Friend, he's also asked me to rejig her very excellent Sunday evening programme, Praise Be. And praise the Lord. Sorry, but media-wise, something very special is going down here. Frankly, I've done for Praise Be what Pol Pot did for the Cambodian tourist industry. It's a TV revolution. As a result, this week, Thora has made cover girl for The Face. We're talking Lurex, we're talking split crotch, we're talking hot and raunchy, we're talking rubbish, we're talking... Anyway, I've scripted her some sizzling, too-hot-to-handle, abrasive one-liners.
Anne Booth from Allerton, Manchester, told me that when her daughter Hayley joined the choir at Lee Parish Church, she came home from her first practice very pleased with herself. When Anne asked what they would be singing on Sunday, she said, I don't know, but it's number 184. Yes,
Look left, you will see Stonehenge. Look right, you will see Buckingham Palace.
Praise Be also has a new topical documentary feature. This week I'm reporting from the Klaus Barbie Appreciation Society's annual coach outing to the satirical TV programme Mr. and Mrs. I ask some hard, penetrating questions in my new role as John Freeman to Thora's Barbara Walters.
Right, what is your favourite colour? No takers? If you were not a German, what would you like most to have been?
Not going too well. This is the side of media fame that the public never see. Frankly, when you're surrounded by 150 ex-SS rioting Derek Beatty fans, life is not all cakes and ale. I'll just have an out-of-body experience and explain in Wittgensteinian terms. Postulate 1. This triple-decker German tourist supercoach contains 150 Germans. Postulate 2. They have been travelling non-stop for 6 weeks. Postulate 3. They have no need to make stops since there are 5 on-board lavatories. Postulate 3A. Few British buses have lavatories and travellers must go behind a nearby tree. Postulate 4. To recap, the average German supercoach travels around with approximately 100,000 gallons of Teutonic ordure, or as we logical positivists say, poo-poos and wee-wees. Postulate 5. There are no trees big enough for the German supercoach to go behind, and anyway, I've never seen a supercoach being emptied in the sea or anywhere. Postulate 6. One day there will be a very nasty accident and the M11 will be flooded with a load of old German... They were good German people. They were fine German people. On behalf of the survivors, Bob, the cameraman, and myself, the intensely shy and private television megastar, I'd like to say that the whole Praise Be team and the BBC are devastated by this, what I can only call this terrible, this tragic, this potentially litigious, this... Oh, look, sorry, love, sorry, look, I've dried. Look, could you remove the relatives, please, the mourners, because the crying, it's putting me off. I'll go for another take. They were good. I should explain this. If you look under death in the How to Get Into TV handbook, you'll read this. Death is not an end, it is another photo opportunity. Death is nature's way of letting you show that a TV megastar is a deep, caring and sincere person. Always take a spray can of ammonia and keep the tears running. Always keep your best side to the camera, but always look as if you'd rather it not be there. Remember, if in the unlikely event that there is someone more famous than you amongst the mourners, be sure to stand just behind them to assure your appearance on the 6, 9, 10 and 11 o'clock news. It is not etiquette to ask for an equity fee for a funeral appearance. And remember, while it is both dramatic and good television to jump sobbing into an open grave, on no account attempt this at a crematorium.
Attention, please. Owing to a freak dust storm, there will be no play at Wimbledon today. Freak dust storm, there will be no play...
Let me fill you in. Anyone, even a TV megastar, can accidentally cremate themselves. My remains inextricably got mingled up with those of a keen German tennis fan who had asked for his, and therefore my ashes, to be scattered over the centre court. No play at Wimbledon on Tuesday. Me again. A glass of Wincarnis tonic wine and a few dabs of Germaline soon rehydrated and restored me to full health.
Proud Britain! You will follow orders!
Well, almost back to normal. It's Wednesday evening and Mrs. Tripley goose steps into my luxurious penthouse bunker dressed as Brunhilde and superintends my refreshing and invigorating intestinal douche. Loose Ends would like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Bint of Gallows Corner, Romford, for this week's gratuitous anal reference. A TV license is winging its way toward...
Feeling
It's Thursday night.
more than
Richard Claderman on the dance set.
nothing.
The goat chewing at the Draylon suite. My concierge, Mrs. Tripley, has left. Moody and alone and living my life like a candle in the wind, I fix an overdose of Lemsip and peruse the contents of her husband's Masonic bag, which she left here by mistake.
Disgusting.
We have a Dickie Valentine fanzine, circa 1957. There's a pamphlet entitled Repatriation Now, very savoury. The I Spy book of sexually transmitted diseases. Something unidentifiable because the batteries have melted the plastic. A Fireball XL5 comic with the phrase blackmail is an ugly word, crayoned in childish handwriting. 2 tubes of ointment and a packet with some white powder in. A woggle, some sacking containing a shrunken skull marked a present from the Philippines. A signed photograph of the zany radio presenter Louise Botting.
Shouldn't be allowed.
A torse, eyebrow tweezers, body bag, some Polaroid pictures of what looks like the inside of someone's mouth with their teeth removed, and finally a book called Knowledge for the Growing Boy.
Oh, no.
Suddenly, there's the sound effect of a telephone ringing in reverse. Hello? It's the nice Mr. Guardhouse backwards. With all these BBC cuts in mind, he's reversed the charges.
Hold on, Mr. Guardhouse, you're in reverse. I'll just cross my wires. Ah, that's better. Now, how can a TV megastar help a squalid, ugly little radio non-entity like yourself? Sacked? Sacked from Praise Be? Whatever for? What rude words? What? Sacked because of my postmodernist stance? It's a bloody disgrace. I'm not going. Too late, mate. You've gone.
Thinks sacked from Praise BA. That leaves only one option, an appearance on Mr. and Mrs. with Derek Mr. TV Beatty himself. But I must first be wed. Since my immolation at the Creme, I'm not exactly an oil painting, but I'm desperate. And since the daughter of a certain British Prime Minister was giving me the green light last week, you know what I mean, fellas, and since you can't get on Mr. and Mrs. with Derek Mr. TV Beatty unless you're spliced, I suppose I'd better pop the question and lie back and think of monetarism. What's Carol's number?
Downing Street, 325. Hello?
Hello, you're really visible.
Yeah, yes, I know. Will you marry me?
Yes. Visible, very visible.
Who was it who said a wedding is a funeral where you can smell your own flowers? I know, it was me just then. You don't believe me? Here's a slow motion replay. Next week, we hear how Carol Lewis Smith and myself appear on Mr. and Mrs. Do a quick twirl for us, Ned, and be nice to each other.
It does have a certain ring to it, Carol. Carol Lewis Smith, doesn't it, don't you think?
I'm not sure about that, but I seem to have accepted. Must have been my mother saying yes. Now then, Victor.
Yes?
Do you know how to make a girl happy?
I've seen the books. I don't think it's good. Anyway,
What
listen.
about experience?
It's no use you being coy. You know we're going. Look, the way you were looking at me in The Independent, that picture on Monday, it's the green light. Marry me tonight.
But you know Victor is a virgin. Could you relate to a virgin as a husband?
Lord.
Victor, I think it would be extremely foolish of me to say anything more at this stage.
I have a CSE in woodwork.
It's obviously going to be a race to see who's an auntie first. Your mark.
It'll be the mother-in-law who'll let the side down, frankly.
Carol, I wouldn't if I were you, because I
Please.
always thought Victor was really sort of dishy from hearing him down the line
Yeah.
from York, but seeing his picture in The Independent, he's horrible.
Wow.
Cheers, Victor. Have a good day.
A tree fell on me.
Now, at the top of the show, we heard from Craig Charles, mysteriously occupied in a radio car in King's Cross.